October 31st, 2021. So I'm listening to a Q&A about this woman who has skills and courage. The question was, is it possible for a single gal to live off-grid alone? Pretty much. But truth is, to do this alone, you have to be physically strong. You have to have skills, know-how, in order to maintain solar equipment. You should have nursing skills, sewing, building, and plumbing skills. You need the strength and knowledge to run power tools and yard maintenance equipment. You need to know how to grow food, preserve food, forage for food. You need to know how to cook on a fire or in the wind, or what to eat that doesn't require cooking. You should have personal experience in diagnosing and treating pain and illness with herbs, nutrition, oils, and available medicinals. If you have animals, you have to be aware of geographical and environmental dangers. You have to know about each animal and their needs and be disciplined about supplying them daily. Truth? Yes, you can. But just because you can, should you? And for me, I may appear alone, but I am not. I may appear to have great strength, but I also know my limitations, so that what I can do, I do. When I know I simply don't have what I need for the task, I ask Abba for help, and he sends it. Fence guy, water guy, hardware delivery guy, and the messenger he sent the day Susie died was an absolute miracle. So yes, in a way, I am alone. But today, Mona has my back. I have help coming for projects that I can't do. And Buddy, well, he's happy every time I come in the door. As promised, Father has supplied every need. Can I live in the desert, off-grid and alone? Not really. It just looks that way. And this brings me to the miracle of Rita. She was there when the worst thing happened. She didn't know me, and the first sight she ever had of me, I was banging on glass doors, begging someone to come out. I knew I was out of time. I stood in the parking lot when finally a woman came from somewhere to say, "We're closed. It's a business meeting. No staff." "It's too late. She's gone," I said. I had looked over at her as I stood beside my truck. There was no more rising or falling of her little chest, as she had already told me she couldn't hold on much longer. The day she was sick, she never cried out. Even when I lifted her, no pain, but her breathing was hard. She would eat and drink and rest. The diarrhea was the only symptom. An emergency vet was only available in Vegas. I couldn't drive. I couldn't even turn my head. On Sunday, I spoke with a vet and I determined Monday morning I would make the drive to Kingman. I called the vet. I left a message. I was on my way. I called again. As I turned off of the highway onto the road where our destination was, Susie sat up in her crate and she meowed over and over. I spoke to her. "Hold on, Susie, we're almost there. Please hold on." And I knew she's never been a very vocal kitten. But that day, at a stoplight on Andy Devine Highway, Susie told me goodbye. Rita. Rita drove up as I was hysterically trying to get help. She stood with me when the woman turned me away, and she held me in those first few moments of realizing Susie's gone. I got in my truck to drive and just parked out of the way. I dialed an old friend back east, and before I could tell her, Rita was once again beside me. I was in my truck, and this is when the loss washed over me, like feeling a cold blast of air. I simply broke. Rita reached for my hands. She held them until I realized I could not let go. I told her about Susie and about Bob and how I just didn't think I could bear it. And she looked into my eyes and my grief as only another believer could. She took the full force, didn't turn away, and never pulled her hand back. I don't know how long we stood there, but in a moment where I was crushed and felt alone in the world, Father sent Rita. And you know what? It's not the first time that Yeshua has comforted me through his people. On Monday, October 18th, he sent me Rita. Oh, Father Elohim, we live in such a dark time. The pains and the sufferings, sometimes it's just more than we can bear. Thank you. Thank you for being here for us, for sending your people to minister, to send comfort and love and hope when we feel lost and alone in the world. You are our King, our coming King. We worship you and we pray, oh Yeshua, please come quickly, forever and amen.